Yoga can be such a huge benefit from your pain with scoliosis, but it also has the potential to make things worse. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the things you need to consider and the mistakes to avoid when doing yoga with scoliosis. So remember that it's all about safety and staying in this safe zone and making sure that we feel safe to not get those signals of pain. So what can we do in our yoga practice, or more importantly, what should we not do? So there are a few kind of major things that I see all the time with my clients when they first come to me, and some of the things I see in general yoga classes as well, and where people say afterwards, actually now I feel pain. I don't think that this was good for me. So what are those reasons? So number one reason is definitely too much too soon. So what does this mean exactly? It doesn't mean that you cannot do all these things. Your bodies are amazing. With scoliosis, there's lots of people who achieve amazing things even though they have scoliosis. But you have to work your way slowly up to that place. And if we kind of skip and go straight into those big things, then of course we will experience pain. And just keep this in mind, that it might take you a little bit longer. So too much too soon, for example, if we think about kind of those big, difficult yoga poses, maybe extreme back bends, extreme twists, and I will talk about these things separately in a different video. But all of these are difficult with scoliosis, because remember, we not only have this side bend, but we also have a rotation. And if we can't deal with this, if we can't balance this out, it's going to cause more trouble. So make sure you really approach it in small steps, and you really go into those basic movements first. Make sure that you are happy with them, that they are comfortable, that they are pain-free before you start advancing your practice. So another common mistake that I see is overstretching. So for some reason, at some point, maybe we have thought that stretching is the solution for back pain, and it's not always the solution. That's just as simple as it is. All that stretching does is it's going to stretch your muscle. Of course, it's going to lengthen it, but it's not going to stay there. Of course, it's going back to where it was before. So just kind of pulling it apart, if you think of a rubber band, is not going to have kind of a lasting effect or make anything change. So it's not always your solution to pain, even though that's what you might feel. So for example, I hear from a lot of my clients, and I know this from my own body with scoliosis as well, that the convex side, so where the curve is going towards, is usually the side that feels tight, bulky, and it feels like it needs a good stretch. Now, you have to keep in mind, those muscles are already stretched, they're already long, so we don't want to stretch them even more. That's not going to help us with our pain. The other common thing that I see, and that might cause a problem and might definitely not help you with your pain, is approaching both sides equally. We know that the sides are different, and actually we know it's not only the right side and the left side, but also the front and the back. Scoliosis is a three-dimensional condition, so we do have to approach it in a three-dimensional way. This is why it's so important to learn as much as possible about your scoliosis, making sure you understand it so that you can start to approach both sides, front and back, in a really, really specific and tailored way, which is going to help you so much more with your scoliosis pattern and ultimately with your back pain as well. So this leads me to the last very common mistake that I see all the time, which is not respecting your unique curvature and your unique pattern of rotation and the side bend. So what this of course means is that a lot of the very common yoga poses where we do have a lot of side bends, where we do have a lot of twists and rotation, they're always going to be a little bit more problematic with scoliosis, because whichever way you twist, you are going to go a little bit further into your rotation. So as an example, if you just take a seated twist and you rotate one way, you rotate another way, you might find that one side is a lot harder than the other. So that would be your major curvature contributing, but you might have some compensating curves. So for example, if you have an S curve, you might have a curve below this major curve that is going the other way. So of course, if you then twist, you are going to go further into your rotation. So it doesn't mean we have to avoid all these things completely. That's the good news. But we have to respect our bodies, and we have to learn about our unique pattern as much as possible so that we can help this and help us in your yoga practice. Now, some of that very, very common scoliosis back pain that I hear from my clients all the time is this kind of this tightness and this achiness in the mid back. And there are some really, really great yoga poses that we can do specifically to release some of this tension. So this next video, which is on your screen right now, is all about releasing that mid back tension and helping with that mid back pain. So make sure you click it now and get on your yoga mat and practice with me right now.